All right, let me ask you a question. And you have to be 100% honest. Have you ever been sitting with a woman and your brain is just going a million miles an hour trying to figure out if she likes you or is just being friendly? You're on a first date, maybe you're just grabbing coffee, and on the surface, everything is fine. The conversation is flowing, she's laughing. But your mind is a complete hurricane. You're replaying every single second of the interaction, analyzing every word, every smile, every glance, trying to crack the code. You ask yourself 1,000 questions. Did she mean something by that? Was that laugh genuine or just polite? She touched my arm for a second. Was that an accident or a signal? We have all been there, completely lost in a fog of uncertainty, feeling that intoxicating mix of hope, but also the paralyzing terror of getting it wrong and making a fool of ourselves. It's exhausting. But what if I told you to stop guessing? What if I told you that the entire time you've been trying to solve this complex emotional puzzle, the answer key has been right in front of you, written in a language you just haven't learned to read yet? What if the biggest, most undeniable signs of her interest aren't the loud, obvious, movie script things you've been told to look for? The real signals are quiet, instinctual, and 100% psychological. They literally leak out of her subconscious. Most guys make the insane, critical mistake of looking for one giant, theatrical sign. A dramatic confession of love or a bold, unmistakable move. But the real truth, the undeniable proof, lies deeper. It's written in the foundational language of her subconscious mind, the part of her that can't lie. Do not click away, because we are about to decode that secret language. This isn't about cheap tricks or pickup artist nonsense. This is a masterclass in human psychology and genuine connection. These are the hidden, scientifically backed signs that prove she's not just interested, she's already emotionally all in. She's made the decision on a subconscious level, and her body is now sending you a constant stream of signals. And once you see the pattern, once you understand the framework, you will never have to guess again. Your dating life will be transformed from a game of anxious chance into a game of confident certainty. The first sign is so subtle yet so profoundly powerful that it's almost insane when you first start noticing it. I call it psychological mirroring. Now this sounds complicated, like something out of a psychology textbook, but the concept is incredibly simple. Her brain gets so in sync with you, so focused on building a connection with you, that her body and her words literally start to match yours. This is one of the most powerful and reliable signs of a deep connection because it's almost impossible to fake. It comes from a primal subconscious part of the brain that's responsible for rapport and bonding. First, and most obviously, you'll see physical mirroring. This is her subconscious saying, I'm like you, I'm with you. Imagine you're in a coffee shop, deep in conversation. You lean in to tell a story with a bit more intensity, and without even thinking, a second or two later, she does the exact same thing. You cross your legs, and a moment later, you notice she's crossed hers in the same way. You take a slow sip of your drink, and she takes a drink. This isn't her consciously copying you. That would feel weird and performative, almost like she's mocking you. The key is the delay. Conscious mimicry is instant and often awkward. Subconscious mirroring is delayed by a few seconds, smooth, and completely natural. Her brain is firing off signals to build rapport, and it's telling her body, align with him. We are on the same team. We are one. But the even deeper, more compelling layer is linguistic mirroring. This is where she will literally start adopting your unique phrases, your personal slang, your rhythm of speaking. Maybe you have a weird, quirky phrase you say all the time, like calling something absolutely nuclear when you think it's amazing. At first, she might giggle when you say it, but a week later, you'll get a text from her about a new song she loves, and she'll write, "This track is absolutely nuclear." Her subconscious mind is actively absorbing your personal lexicon and integrating it into her own. It's her brain's way of creating a private, secret language just for the two of you, a linguistic bubble that separates you from everyone else. When you see this happening, her body language matching your posture and her verbal language matching your words, you are literally watching her brain build a bridge to your brain. That's not just fleeting attraction, that's a deep psychological bond forming right in front of your eyes. This next sign is completely primal. It taps into our most basic, animalistic instincts about territory and safety. It's all about space. Every single person, man or woman, has an invisible bubble of personal space around them, a force field they use to keep the world at a comfortable distance. But when a woman is seriously, magnetically drawn to you, she doesn't just let you into her force field, she actively, relentlessly tries to smash through yours. Think about it in practical terms. You're in a huge group setting, a party or a bar with friends. There are dozens of seating options. Where does she end up? Time and time again, she takes the seat right next to you, even when it's not the most convenient option. When you're standing in a circle talking, does she position herself closer to you than anyone else would dare? These are not accidents. These are calculated, subconscious decisions to close the physical gap because her mind is desperate to close the emotional one. She might even use her belongings as tools. She'll place her purse or jacket on the chair on her other side, effectively blocking it off from anyone else, but leaving the space next to you wide open. It's a nonverbal invitation. She's basically putting up a velvet rope for the rest of the world and a welcome mat for you, saying, "This spot right here is reserved for you." But it goes even deeper and gets even more subtle. Pay attention to the microgeography of the space directly between you two. A woman who wants you will subconsciously work to get rid of any object that stands between you. You're at a dinner table, and her water glass is directly between your faces. Watch what she does. She'll move it off to the side for no apparent reason. She'll put her phone in her pocket or her purse instead of leaving it on the table between you. She's clearing the runway. On the other hand, if she's constantly holding her purse in her lap like a shield, or clutching her drink in front of her chest, she's building a fortress. When she starts physically manipulating the environment just to get a few inches closer to you, to remove that final barrier, she is giving you a massive, undeniable physical green light. The third sign is a complete game changer because it moves from the physical to the mental and emotional. This is when the conversation makes a dramatic shift from superficial to substantial. Any girl can make small talk. Anyone can ask, "What do you do for work?" Or, "How was your weekend?" But a woman who is genuinely evaluating you as a potential life partner, a woman who wants to give herself to you emotionally, will steer the conversation into insanely deep water. She's no longer just talking to pass the time. She's gathering critical intelligence. She's auditioning you to see if you have the depth, character, and compatibility to be the leading man in her life. This deep conversation serves a critical purpose. It builds a massive emotional connection and tests for alignment in your core values. When she starts asking you about your passions, the things that truly light you up, or your craziest, most irrational fears, or your wildest, most ambitious dreams for the future, she's trying to see the real you behind the mask. She will graduate from what questions to why questions. It's not just what's your career, it's why did you pick that career? What drives you about it? It's not just what music do you like, it's why does that particular song make you feel that way? These why questions are literally a key designed to unlock your brain and reveal your character, your motivations, and your soul. And critically, this is a two-way street. A woman who wants you to open up will first make herself vulnerable. She will offer up one of her own insecurities or past failures to make you feel safe enough to share yours. She might tell you about a time she failed at something she cared about, or a secret insecurity she has, essentially showing you her cards and implicitly challenging you to show yours. This creates a crazy, powerful feedback loop of trust and intimacy. It's an exchange of vulnerability. When you find yourself in a conversation that makes you feel totally and completely seen, where you're talking for hours and it feels like minutes, that is a giant, flashing, neon sign. She isn't just asking about your life, she's actively trying to see if she can build her life right alongside yours. This next sign is my absolute favorite because it's the most honest one in the entire playbook. A woman can control her words. She can fake a smile. She can feign interest. But she cannot fake her own nervous system. When she is genuinely, powerfully, physically attracted to you, her body will betray her every single time with a series of involuntary physiological responses. It's a biological confession. This is literally just biology in action. When you are near someone you're insanely attracted to, the brain's adrenal system unleashes a flood of chemicals like dopamine and adrenaline. This potent chemical cocktail feels almost exactly like being nervous or anxious, but it's a good nervous. Her heart will literally start beating faster. Her palms might get a little sweaty. Her breathing might become more shallow. And one of the biggest tells is her voice. Her voice might suddenly change its pitch or cadence when she speaks to you, compared to how she speaks to others. It might get higher and a little more girlish, or it might become softer, lower, and more intimate. The key isn't the specific change, but the fact that it's different from her normal baseline voice. If her voice starts to shake or crack just a little bit around you, especially when you're close, it means her entire nervous system is freaking out in the best way possible. Fidgeting is another huge tell. All that nervous energy has to go somewhere. A woman who is buzzing with this attraction energy might subconsciously play with her necklace, twist a ring on her finger, or smooth down her hair. A very common one is touching her neck or collarbone area. These are vulnerable, exposed spots. And touching them is a dual-purpose gesture. It's a self-soothing behavior to calm her nerves, but it also subconsciously draws your eyes to these sensual areas of her body. And while a single sign like blushing can be caused by other things like embarrassment or being too warm, you have to look for the cluster. When you see a bunch of these signals happen at once, the fidgeting, the voice change, the slight blush, especially right after you give her a genuine compliment or get a little closer, that's not a coincidence. It's her body screaming a confession of attraction that her brain isn't ready to admit out loud yet. Sign number 5 is all about the eyes. The old saying is true. The eyes are the window to the soul. But for our purposes, they are a high-definition broadcast of her true intentions. And it's not just about simple eye contact. It's about how she makes it, and more importantly, how she breaks it. It's a secret, unspoken language that plays out in milliseconds. This delicate dance usually starts from across the room. She will lock eyes with you for a brief, intense second, long enough for you to register it. And then, and this is the most important part, she will look down. Breaking eye contact by looking down is a universally recognized sign of submission and coyness. It signals, you saw me looking. You just had a massive effect on me, and I'm a little flustered. Looking away to the side is neutral. It could just mean she saw something else. Looking up can seem dismissive. But looking down is the key. Then, a few moments later, she'll risk another glance to see if you're still looking at her. This back and forth, this glance, look down glance again, is a low-risk, high-reward way for her to broadcast her interest from a safe distance. When you're actually in a one-on-one conversation, the eye contact game gets even more potent and crazier. A person in a normal, platonic conversation holds eye contact for about 3 to 5 seconds at a time. A woman who is deeply into you will hold your gaze for just a fraction of a second longer than is socially normal. It might be 6 or 7 seconds, but in that extra time, the energy becomes electric and undeniable. You can feel it. But the ultimate signal is what I call the triangle gaze. This is where her eyes will move from your one eye to your other eye, and then drop down to your lips, and then back up to your eyes. It might only take 2 seconds, but what she's doing is crystal clear. Her eyes are literally telling you that she's thinking about your lips, and by extension, she's thinking about being physically close to you. This is one of the most powerful invitations she can possibly send. You just have to learn to read the signs. This is it. This is the final boss of hidden signs. This is the most proactive, most intentional sign of them all. This is when she graduates from sending passive signals and starts taking deliberate action to create opportunities for just the two of you to be alone. When you see this, it's a sign of extreme intent. She's no longer just hoping something happens, she's making it happen. Think about it. A woman who just sees you as a platonic friend is totally fine, even preferable, to hang out in a group. It's safe, it's low pressure. But a woman who wants more, a woman who wants to give herself to you, sees the group as an obstacle. The group is the competition, its noise preventing a real connection. So she will start finding clever ways to pull you away from the pack. You're at a loud bar with friends and the music is blasting. She'll lean in and say, "It's so loud in here. Let's go find somewhere we can actually hear each other." And then lead you by the hand or with her eyes to a quieter corner or an outside patio. She's actively creating a private world, a bubble, for just the two of you. Another insane and blatant version of this is when she suggests future plans that only involve you and her. Pay close attention to the language. A friend says, "We should all go hiking sometime," or "The whole group should check out that new restaurant." A woman who wants you says, "You and I should go hiking sometime," or "You and I should really try that new restaurant." Do you hear that profound difference? The exclusion of everyone is the whole point. It is a specific, direct, and unambiguous invitation for a one-on-one encounter. She might even create a classic scenario where you have to be her protector, like asking you specifically to walk her to her car at the end of the night, even if other people are leaving at the same time. It's a classic move that creates a totally valid and socially acceptable reason for a few precious minutes of guaranteed alone time. When you see a woman actively working to get you by yourself, she has cleared every single obstacle out of the way. Now, she's just waiting for you to be brave enough to walk down the path she just paved for you. So there you have it. The 6 definitive, hidden signs that a woman wants to give herself to you. From the insane subconscious psychological mirroring, where she literally becomes a reflection of you, to the breakdown of personal space, where she redraws the map of the world to be closer to you. From the conversational deep dive, where she auditions you for a leading role in her life, to the involuntary confession, where her own body betrays her true feelings. From the green light gaze that tells you what she's thinking without a single word, all the way to the final boss, the lone wolf maneuver, where she actively engineers scenarios to get you alone. These are not random actions. They are not coincidences. They are a literal roadmap to her true feelings, a step-by-step guide revealing her journey from mild interest to deep emotional investment. The fear of rejection, of getting it wrong, of misreading the situation, that fear is real. But you don't have to live in that state of anxious guessing anymore. You now have the cheat codes. You have the psychological framework to see the patterns hiding just beneath the surface of every interaction. Stop looking for the one giant, obvious sign and start looking for the consistent pattern of these smaller, more honest signals. These signs are massive, flashing invitations, and she is holding the door to a deeper connection wide open. But you have to be the one with the awareness to see it and the confidence to walk through it. Now that you can read the signs, you can act with 100% confidence, knowing she's not just waiting for you. In her mind, she's already there with you. If this video opened your eyes to even one new thing, if it gave you a piece of the puzzle you've been missing, I challenge you to subscribe and smash that notification bell, because you have no idea what we're going to decode next. Thanks for watching. Now go be awesome.